if we step back and understand why we need a different backup solution, we already have a backup solution for our virtual machine application. So what is the different with the Kubernetes data protection? So how they are different from the if you're running a application in VM. So application runnings in a VM, they are mostly static, and usually VM host a single application. So it's a kind of single tenant, and they rely on the backup of their file system. Most of the time, you take backup of the VMDKs or backup of all the files. Uh, that's enough for backing up application. But Kubernetes by design is a multi-tenant environment. You can run multiple applications as containers and microservices, and these are ephemeral as well. So they come and go. And applications are deployed using Kubernetes constructs like config maps, secrets, pods, persistent volumes to store the data. So if you see what what is the data objects for a VM, so they are in the virtualized environment mostly the VMX file, VMDK file, or your flat VMDK files for data. But in case of Kubernetes, they are a lot of metadata information, config maps, secrets, pods, images, and as well as persistent volumes. So construct of application is a different. And Kubernetes applications are mostly the multi-layered because you are very building application through the many microservices. So whole state of the application is distributed much more than the virtual applications. So with that, if we try to understand that how Kubernetes data protection would evolve. So when the Kubernetes started, most of the applications were stateless. And when I say the stateless application, they are built using a Kubernetes constructs like config map, uh, secrets, and we call it as a metadata of application. So they don't store the data inside application itself. But as the Kubernetes is rising, more and more stateful applications are coming, and they are fundamentally different from the earlier computing infrastructures. There is no mapping of uh, applications to server or VMs, and data protection solution needs to understand Kubernetes native ephemeral architectures patterns to deal with continuous changes inside the cluster. And cloud native data protection solution should be the application centric and not the infrastructure centric and focused.